What a lovely little bride I make, my dear, I look divine. Things are working out according to my ultimate design. Soon I'll have that little mermaid and the ocean will be mine. No one can tell me I wouldn't make an amazing Ursula, right? But let's get into today's video, okay? So, hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Was She Really the Villain? Okay? The series where we take a deeper look at women that we've seen in series, in movies, that we've been told to fear, right? Hate, or even dismiss. Now, if you ask me, were they really the problem? I don't know. Or was the problem patriarchy? Okay, so today's subject is the Sea Witch, a fashion icon and a master negotiator. Okay, yes, we are talking about Ursula from The Little Mermaid. But hold on. What if I told you Ursula wasn't just some evil witch trying to steal a crown? What if she was actually a disinherited royal, robbed of her birthright, and banished by her brother? Let's dive beneath the surface, shall we?
Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
So let's start with what we know from the 1989 Disney film. I was 4 years old and I was obsessed with The Little Mermaid, okay? And Ursula was introduced as the sea witch who lives in exile. She grants poor, unfortunate souls their wishes, but always with a catch. Now, when Ariel comes to her, she offers her legs in exchange for her voice. Classic monkey paw deal, okay? Later, she manipulates her. Well, not her, but the situation. Almost marries Prince Eric herself and tries to take over the seas. And of course, she dies dramatically because that's what happens to powerful women in Disney, let's be real. But something always felt off. Like, why is she living in exile? Why does she want the crown so badly? Why does she talk like she once had power? Oh, wait. It's because she did, y'all. She did. Now, here's where things get juicy. In the Broadway musical version of The Little Mermaid, which expands the movie's story, Ursula is actually Triton's sister.
Why, King Triton. How are you? Let her go.
Not a chance, Triton. She's mine now. We made a deal.
Yep, you heard that right. She is of royal blood. According to this lore, both of them are children of Poseidon, and when he passed, he split his powers between them. Triton got the trident, and Ursula got the magical nautilus shell. But Triton wasn't exactly about equality. Are we surprised? Are we? No. Ursula's ambitious, and she used her magic. It made him nervous. So instead of sharing power, he banishes her. So when we meet her in the movie, she's not just a bitter villain, okay, y'all? She is a wronged woman, an exiled heir, stripped of her title, watching her brother rule the kingdom alone. Sound familiar, y'all?
Friday, we had fantastical feasts when I lived in the palace. Now look at me, wasted away to practically nothing.
Banished and exiled and
Yeah. So let's really talk about it. Ursula is demonized not just for being powerful, but for being visibly powerful. She's loud, she's curvy, commanding, magical, and completely unapologetic about it all. She doesn't beg for scraps like Ariel. She doesn't submit like the other sea creatures. She's bold, bodied, and brash. And for Disney, that was enough to make her a monster. Meanwhile, King Triton gets to be the stoic, overbearing dad who literally destroys Ariel's treasures, blah, blah, areas. He literally destroys Ariel's treasures, and we're supposed to root for this guy? I mean, I guess we're all rooting for Ariel, not him, but let's get into this a little bit further. So, Ursula represents what happens when a woman refuses to play small, when she claims that she believes is hers. And that's why she had to be painted out as evil. Not because she was, but because she dared to have power in a space that only made room for men. And let's not okay, hold on. Let's not ignore the queer coding here either, okay? Ursula's design was based on the drag queen divine. Her makeup, her voice, her drama. It was deliberate. So now we've got a plus size, queer coded woman who speaks with authority, knows her worth, and dares to challenge a patriarchy. Of course, Disney made her the villain. Okay? Come on. So let's actually take it back to the original tale by Hans Christian. Hans Christian Andersen. It was written in 1837. And guess what? The sea witch in the original story isn't a villain at all. She actually helps the mermaid. She's straightforward about the consequences. There's no trickery, no evil plot, no desire for power at all. She's just a woman with knowledge, offering a deal. So even in the OG fairy tale, the sea witch wasn't some power-hungry monster. She was more like a neutral herbalist who said, sure, I'll help, but there's a cost. Disney took that woman and turned her into a vengeful sea demon. Make that make sense. Yeah. But also very typical, right? So, was Ursula really the villain? Or was she a powerful woman who was robbed of her birthright, demonized for not shrinking herself, and punished for daring to want what was hers? Maybe she wasn't the villain, right? Maybe Ursula, who was a royal sea witch, was simply reclaiming her crown. And maybe, just maybe, the real villain was patriarchy in a beard and a trident. But what do y'all think? This is my short recap, Synonymous. I hope you enjoyed my little diddle. I actually think that song was quite underrated. I know it was short, but even with the new version that we have with Hallie and them changing it, I was kind of disappointed. I love that little song. It was like, what, 40 seconds? But it is one of my favorite songs when Ursula's playing Vanessa. I mean, in the new one, it was Hallie just going la di dee da di dee da di dee da da la di dee da di dee da di dee da da. I'm sorry, I didn't do my vocal warm ups, but y'all understand. I love that too, but I was hoping that it was gonna a segue into the original song that Vanessa sung, but it's cool. And this is obviously not about that, but I do think it was an underrated Ursula song. Poor Unfortunate Souls is a classic, of course, but like I said, that song where Vanessa's in the room, that was that underrated song, underrated Disney villain song. But what do you guys think? Was Ursula really the villain, or just a family scapegoat with receipts and a glam squad? Okay. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like if you love these feminist deep dives. Subscribe if you're ready for more villain deconstruction. And if you really want to support this channel, join my Patreon where we go even deeper into our Bible studies and other patriarchal chit chat. Oh, and let me know who should be next. I'm thinking Cruella. I'm thinking, who else? I had a few more, but you get the point. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the villain is just the woman who said no.
Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.